Army, hello. I just decided to cut off that countdown. I just got too excited. I'll be honest, I just pushed the wrong button. It happens. Anyways, I hope everyone's having a good day. Today is New Comic Book Day. I hope that you have the opportunity to join me, and I'm thankful that you had the opportunity to join me. And if you're watching this on the replay, I greatly appreciate your time. It's a kind of an overcast day here in Ontario. It's 25 degrees Celsius. That's somewhere in the mid or the low to mid 70s for those of you in the United States. Um, yeah, it's been a hot August, I'll be honest, and a little bit of a wet one as well. So the humidity is always through the roof. So it's been times I just stood outside and I just started sweating, doing nothing. Oh, I don't want to come across as a douchebag. But anyways, for those of you that have joined me, thank you very much. Just let me just take a look at some of the commentary and see who's in the chat here. Comic King, woohoo! Thank you for joining me, and you also got the second vote. Let's see. My brother from the right coast of Canada, out in Prince Edward Island, TM Nerdy. Thank you for joining me. And for those that are active in the chat right now, I do have my air conditioning going on behind my phone. If the audio is good, can everyone let me know that if you hear me clearly? Otherwise, I can make some adjustments with the air conditioning. Comics Lounge, thank you for joining me, man. Hope that you're doing well. And that was a terrific Spider-Man trailer video that you spoke about a little while ago. I'd like to give props to everyone that does wonderful things when it comes to Spider-Man. And yeah, it's been milky as hell just south of you guys, and on the coast of Lake Ontario. Yeah, for those that don't know, Comics Lounge is just on the other side of the Canadian-American border in beautiful Buffalo, one of my most favorite places in the world. I am very much a hardcore Buffalo Bills fan, so much so that I don't really care about that many other sports. It's all about NFL football for me at this point in my life. Let's see what else. I think I just saw someone from Georgia speak up. What's up, my Canadian heterosexual life partner? Mark, good morning. Hope that you're doing well. I'm sure that you're at work right now, so I appreciate your time. I hope that your business and the kennel that you're working at is doing very well. I know that kennels can go up and down when it comes to boarding right now. So again, thanks for joining me. I think you're going to like some of the books that I picked up. I think he's everyone's guy, right? Let's be honest. Yeah, I have lots of love for Spider-Man, and I'm hyped for this movie as well. It is kind of baffling that they've been taking so long to release the trailer, but all right, at least we got a second Shang-Chi out of the deal before we got our chance to see the new Spider-Man one. Let's see. HK Wife 420. Who is this proper looking dude? Station, happy new comic book day. Happy new comic book day. Station Sheena. Yeah, I have a feeling Hockey Bags is going to haunt me for the rest of my life. And he's busy. I'm glad to hear it. Busy is much better than slow. Let's be honest. There's nothing I hate more. I think everyone can agree with me. There's nothing I hate more than going to work and there being no work to do. There's nothing I hate more than showing up and having to push a broom for 8 hours, because then it feels like 5 days as opposed to being busy where, God willing, the clock just rolls by. And yeah, so that's me. Either way, where I am, I'm a supervisor, and there's nothing I hate more than telling my people there's no work and please push the broom, because it becomes long for everyone, including what I do. Anyways, let's talk a little bit about my haul. I thought today when I went in, it was basically going to be a short stack kind of week. Maybe 5 or 6 books. Pick up obviously the books that that I recommended on Two Cool Guys Top Picks, along with Mark's pick. And of course, I'll get to those books in a few moments. But I thought there was just going to be a handful of things that was going to catch my eye, but I was wrong. And I do have a stack of books. It cost me a little bit more than what I originally had budgeted for the day. However, sometimes it's just hard to leave certain titles on the shelf, whether it's for reading value, spec value, or just a hell of a cover. And those three things struck me today, I'll be honest. And yeah, let's before I begin into it, I gotta give a quick shout out again. Flash by Night, I appreciate your time as always. Hope you're doing well, my man. Appreciate it. And yes, it did the same. Okay. Yeah, so I'm not alone. You know, like I'm definitely that kind of comic book shopper. When I walk in, if something catches my eye, it is very hard for me to not buy that book, especially if it's a cover by an artist that I enjoy thoroughly, i.e., Arthur Adams, Todd McFarlane, Jenny Frison, Art Germ, Patrick Gleason is now become one of those, and of course Lieber Mayo, one of my favorite artists, and of course the master of them all, you know who I'm talking about. Alex Ross. I said before that I was going to give up Iron Man. I just can't. I just have a hard time leaving Alex Ross behind. Anyways, uh, let's get into some of the books. And like I normally do on New Comic Book Day when I go live from my cart outside my LCS, which is the white wall that you see right beside me. That's my comic shop. I start with the Independents. And today, when I walked in, the owner said to me, I happen to have a few copies of the Department of Truth issue #1 reprinting the corrected version. And generally, when he suggests something to me, I always participate. 9 times out of 10, when he suggests something to me, it's an independent book that he's already read. And like 9 times out of 10, he doesn't steer me wrong. We kind of have that same flavor when it comes to style of comic books that we enjoy. But the fact that he pointed out the fact that he's got in some of James Tynion IV's issue #1, Department of Truth, one of the hottest books in comic books today. I know Mark from Legion of Comics, it's one of his favorite reads on a monthly basis. I know that he strongly feels that Department of Truth and Nice House on the Lake is the best thing that JTIV is putting out right now, so much so that he says it's better than Something is Killing the Children. I argue that point. And of course, the franchise title from DC that he's doing in Batman. And let's take a look at what Mark just said. Uh, Ross's boss, I'm laughing my ass off seeing you still picking that up. And yeah, he's saying the Department of Truth is easily one of his top 5 reads. And this is the cover. So I believe, yes, it is. So it says right here, this is the 6th printing. It has the lady with sunglasses here, her eyes blacked out. And yeah, I'll be honest, I've read issue #1 a couple times over, and this book will probably not leave the protection that it's in. I did pick this up for spec value. It may be something that I give away when it comes to hitting a certain level of subscribers. By the way, I'm still doing my push towards 500. Shameless plug. And yeah, so I'm happy to get my hands on this. It was just a normal cover price. He didn't upsell it or anything. I don't know if there's actually any value on this book on the secondary market yet. I'm presuming if any of the other copies, the uncorrected versions, got out, if they did, that they're the ones that probably have some sort of value. But let's move on. Sticking with the independent game here, the next book that I picked up is from Aftershock. This was Mark's hot pick last month, and it comes from Ed Brisson. and I managed to get my hands on issue number 1 a week after it came out, or did I get it the day of? Either way, that's not important. The fact is, Beyond the Breach was a fantastic issue number 1. Basically, it's a story of a young lady in California who's dealing with a breakup where apparently her partner cheated on her with someone very close to her in her life. While she's driving, she comes across a portal where monsters and all that sort of nasty thing are coming through from a different dimension into Earth right in front of her, and she sees a young family get attacked, and the mother and father sadly get killed off, and there's a young boy, and she picks up the young boy, saving his life and carrying on. And in amongst all this carnage and craziness that's happening, there's a small alien that befriends them both, holding comic books, and they move on. And the issue number 1 ends on a cliffhanger, basically where they're trying to get to safety, and as they're approaching somewhere safe, the young boy's parents call out to him, and it turns out it's one of the monsters, as the monster's going in on the young boy. This is issue 2 of Aftershocks Beyond the Breach. I'm very excited to get my hands on this book. There was actually only 3 copies left, and again, my comic shop opened at 12. So I'm presuming a lot of people have it on their pull list. I'm definitely going to have to add it to my pull list as well. So I don't basically walk in and it's not waiting for me. So yeah, Beyond the Breach, issue number 2. This cover does show that young lady I was talking about and her alien friend being attacked by a monster. Sadly, the young boy is not on this cover. So who knows what happened. But again, I'm very excited about issue number 2. Mark, good call on issue number 1 for it being your hot pick of the week last month. Let's just take a quick look at the chat and see the chat's just jumping. And all right, Mars Comics, thank you for joining me. And another Canadian has joined me, Actual Dracula. Hope that you're doing well, my man. Tomorrow night, for those that aren't aware, Actual Dracula is going to be going live with a handful of other Canadians, just spotlighting some Canadian channels on his channel. I hope to pop in. As most of you know, I do work an afternoon shift. So if I have a few quiet moments, I'm going to try and pop on just to say hello and get all Canadian with everybody, and it should be a good time. And for those Americans that are interested in hearing, an accent or a few different accents from across this vast nation, I'm sure TM Nerdy's probably going to join us as well. This could be your opportunity to have a quiet smile at a few different accents, but more importantly, get to join Actual Dracula as he spotlights a few other channels that you may not be aware of. And as we all know in this community, finding out about other channels and subscribing up to them is what we do best. Brother, my comic shop, the reason why I decided to go to this comic shop, not only is it just a smaller one compared to some of the monstrosity ones that are around where I am and in and around Toronto as well. This one does already have them bagged and boarded on the shelf. So I've watched them receive packages from different distributors, and he literally just takes it out of the box, and he already has a bag and board ready to go, and he slides each book individually in right there and then. It's actually, he's got it down to almost like an art form, kind of like fly fishing. He can do 2 or 3 books at once. I've never seen anything like it. However, that's another reason why I go here. Everything is already bagged and boarded on the shelves, as opposed to some comic shops that are around my vicinity that just put the raw books on the shelf. And like, I am someone that pays attention to the quality of the paper. I.e., is it mint? Is it near mint? And yeah, like, I'm sure most of you agree, you would much rather buy a book that's already bagged and boarded as opposed to picking up raw copies and then bringing it over to the cashier and then have to pay for it additionally right there if you want it done or whatever. But to each their own. Maybe some people enjoy that, but that's what I like. I like the fact that it's already in protection. Hail Hydra. Trade Paper Dad, thanks for joining me. I appreciate your time. Canadian, man, it's what we do. We say sorry like some people say hello. All you have to do is check out other streams. Sorry, man. Uh, yeah, Mars conversation should be a good time. All right. Now, this is from a publisher that I didn't know existed, from Titan Comics. It's Michael Moorcock's Elric, the Dreaming City. I picked up a variant cover done by one of my favorite characters of all time's creator, Mike Mignola. He did obviously he's most well known for doing Hellboy, and I picked up the variant cover for Elric, the Dreaming City. This was recommended to me by my LCS owner, and he said it's a little bit of a dreamscape type of book, and he basically said if you don't like it, you don't like it, but the cover price is $3.99. So I rolled the dice on it, and he said that he enjoyed it. The fact that he's got like a Moorcock head, like Mignola do a cover as well, sold me. And again, it's truly a cover that, or the type of artwork that we would see with Hellboy. And yeah, so Elric, I'll let you all know Sunday night on Mark's channel at Week's End what I think of this independent book. From Boom Studios, I picked up issue number 1 of Eat the Rich. So this has a very interesting cover. Let me just minimize that better so my steering wheel can get out of the way. There we go. And yeah, I don't know much about Eat the Rich. DJ, I see that you're here. I'm going to have a quick question for you. But I'm not sure if there's other variant covers. This was the only cover that my LCS had. He had a handful of copies, and just I kind of like what Boom Studios is doing, so I decided to just roll the dice on issue number 1. If it's a good book, I'll carry on. If not, well, at least I have the issue number 1. DJ, my question is this: I actually wanted to reach out to you earlier. I know that you, when someone joins your channel as a paid subscriber, you send them a package or whatever. Is this possible for people that are outside of the United States, such as myself? I would love to join your channel and become a paid subscriber. I do enjoy the stuff that you do. The mystery box that you just opened from the Dorkeries, I thought was fantastic. Even though the Star Wars slab that you received was something that's outside of your wheelhouse, I saw that you were obviously very happy with the fact that you got it, because as everyone here can attest, Star Wars is still one of the hottest things, out there right now. And if you wanted to move on from the slab, at least you're not going to take a big loss. And as you provided that commentary, I'm just kind of repeating what you said. But my question again is it an issue for you for someone outside the United States to join your channel? Drac is saying he usually replaces the bag and board the shop gives him with his own because of his very particular storage. I get it, man. I get it. And I believe I saw your video, Jack, where you popped in at Gotham Central for your free comic book day haul. One of my favorite shops. Hashtag Link Squad. Let's see. Yes, Chris. Drax's package is in the mail as we speak, and I've sent the package to Australia. I think I know who you probably sent that to in Australia. But yes, then in the very, very near future, DJ, you can consider myself a proud member of the Link Squad. And we international, baby. And yeah, and DJ's in one of my all-time favorite cities, Brooklyn. One of the boroughs of New York City. I've had the pleasure of being in New York City and in Brooklyn, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I did get to see the Washington Capitals take on the New York Islanders, and the Islanders won that game, even though I was actually in a private box for that game. So yeah, Brooklyn. I think I mentioned that to DJ before, but yeah, Brooklyn and New York City, one of my favorite places in the world. Uh, yeah. Nice. And all right, Jack is saying I'm doing an unboxing video live later this evening, and we'll open it then. All right, let's switch into Marvel when it comes to my books. And as always, I like to start with the franchise. This is issue 3 of the Sinister War. For those that have given up on anything Spider-Man related that Nick Spencer is doing, let me tell you, the Sinister War is a nice relief from what Nick Spencer is normally doing. This book is actually co-written by Ed Brisson, so maybe it's that part that's kind of making it a little bit more enjoyable for me. I did get to read half of this book before I went live, and let me tell you, the fact that we have 5 sinister teams chasing Spider-Man, and Spider-Man is on the run and is in very bad shape. It's a really good read. Um, there's a lot of stuff that's happening behind the scenes when it comes to the villains, and like I mentioned, we have 5 different rogue teams chasing Spider-Man, and the Sinister War is better than what the Amazing Spider-Man is. And I'm one of those that's going to be enjoying the fact that we're going to be getting a new writer in the very near future when it comes to ASM. No big secret. I'm sure most of you feel that way. But again, Sinister War, now that the What If Spider Shadow storyline is over, it's easy for me to say that the Sinister War is the best Peter Parker story out there right now. It's not as good as what the Miles book is when it comes to that last arc of the Clone Saga that Miles went through. But this, when it comes to Peter Parker being Spider-Man, this is better than ASM. The Sinister War issue number 1 I thought was just good. Issue 2 was a little bit better, but what I read for just the half the book for this one, dare I say, is great. But the fact is, I do love all the Spider-Man villains, especially Kraven the Hunter. Kraven the Hunter and Doctor Octopus is in the forefront of this particular arc. So yeah, if you're trying to find a good Spider-Man story, now that the What If story is over, Sinister War, if you can get yourself the 2 other copies and this one, might be worth a read. Yes, he went to Gotham Central. For those that don't know, Gotham Central Comics is in one of the suburbs of Toronto and is a monstrous comic shop. It's owned by a very nice man named Carlos, and he has everything under the sun when it comes to that comic shop. He even has candy that he brings in from different parts of the world, and statues, slabs, old books, raw books. Um, uh, he often has artists come in, big name artists, and they do stuff for free. I've gotten actually a free sketch from David Finch one time at Gotham Central. Ken Lashley is there all the time. Yeah, it's just a fantastic shop. I'm sure Drac would agree with me. It's one of those places. If you're a comic collector and you find yourself in Ontario, in Toronto, as a tourist, you're here for a vacation or something, and you thoroughly enjoy comic books, I recommend that you go to Gotham Central, give yourself a few hours in there just to walk around and check out how enormous the shop is and how friendly the people that work there is. Nice plug. This is not Gotham Central that I'm outside of, by the way, though. Let's see. Mars is saying that he picked up the Varegi variant of the Sinister War. I just love his weird covers. I agree. They are weird. And Flash by Night is adding, I think the new ASM is coming out 3 times per month. Something is killing the wallet. Yes, yes. The thing is, all the Spider titles related to Peter, and now Miles' his own story, his own storyline. I do have on my pull list, so I'm pretty covered that way. But yeah, it sounds like I'm going to be spending a lot of money when it comes to Spider-Man in the very near future. I said that I was giving this book up just because I'm not a fan of Chris Cantwell's Iron Man right now. But then I saw the cover, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Alex Ross is Alex Ross, and I can't leave the master behind. Anyways, with that being said, I love that cover, but this, I feel, is the cover of the week. I mentioned earlier that one of my favorite artists is Archer. My comic shop here managed to get the Archer variant of The Trial of Magneto, issue number 1, which was released today. I haven't been enjoying the mutant storylines recently. I tried the Way of X number 1. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't my flavor, so I left it behind, even though I am a fan of Nightcrawler. But this cover, my God, you're going to agree with me. Archer doing what Archer does best, and that makes the Scarlet Witch just look incredible. Yes, how great is this cover? Yeah. So I will read this book. I'll find out what happens, and again, I'll spoil the hell out of it come Sunday night on the Legion of Comics flagship show at week's end. But yes, Archer, The Trial of Magneto. This is my pick for cover of the week. Hot damn, he does good stuff. Yeah. Switching to DC. Yo, it's the biggest Crow fan I know. Nick from Nick's Kicks and Comics, my man. Hope that you're doing well in your part of the world. Thanks for joining me. Happy New Comic Book Day to you. I'm switching to DC now, everyone. And issue number 1, Batman Secret Files. It's Clown Hunter, number 1. My comic shop did have the B cover variants for $1 more. It didn't really sell me, like the artwork just didn't sell me the way that the normal DC B covers do, i.e. Jenny Frison, Lee Bermeo, those type of things. So I just went with the normal A cover. Nicely enough, it's actually a Miko Suyin. So I kind of thought the normal cover is better than the B cover, and the fact that the normal cover is a Miko. All right. I did enjoy Clown Hunter in the Batman flagship done by Tynan. So I'm going to give this a go and see how it is. It's done by Ed Brisson, of course. But we'll see. We'll see. One of my all-time favorite characters is Superman. And Superman in the last 6 to 8 months has had a resurgence when it comes to fantastic storytelling. Fight me if you want, but I will say the Superman stories, i.e., Action Comics and his own flagship, has been better than what the Batman flagship title has been. Anyways, last month we had Superman and the Authority number 1 get released, and I thought that was a great storyline. It shows the intelligence of the Man of Steel, not just his brute strength. And issue number 2, I decided to continue on with. It is just a 4-part limited series. It's Superman and the Authority. I know Mark from Legion of Comics was sold on it as well. It was his hot pick last month, issue number 1. But the storyline was fantastic. I enjoy when we have a creative team show Superman in the light where it's more than just brute strength. You know, like just I'm gonna fly through whatever bad robot this is, or whatever kind of campy stuff that we had to deal with in the 70s and 80s and 90s. And like I mentioned, in the last 6 to 8 months, we've had Superman started being helmed by some very good writers. And in my opinion, we've had a resurgence of the Man of Steel. And like I've said, Action Comics and the flagship and Superman, I feel is much better than what the flagship title is, and that being Batman from DC. Again, if you don't agree with me, fight me. But again, issue 2 of Superman and the Authority, issue number 1 was fantastic. I'm hoping that this continues as well. And yeah, Superman, welcome back. Let's see. All right, everyone's just greeting Nick again. Nick, thank you for joining me, brother. This past Sunday, 2 cool guys, 2 hot picks. Mark from Legion of Comics, I think I've dropped his name 500 times. It's family. It's what we do, right? We released a video Sunday where we spotlighted 2 books, 1 each that we felt that you should pick up for various reasons. This past Sunday, Mark's reasoning was he loves the story arc that's happening right now in Batman Catwoman. And it's a part of a 12-issue maxi series that's happening. And issue 6 was released today under DC's Black Label. This storyline is being brought to us by Tom King, and the interiors have been done beautifully by Clay Mann. Now, I am personally a fan of Tom King, so Mark and Ryan from the Cosmic Campfire have been talking about how great Batcat has been with this maxi series. So you know that it's special when Mark makes his hot pick in the middle of the series, issue number 6, for the book that you want to consider picking up. And like I mentioned, his reasoning this week is purely for reading purposes. However, this cover with the Phantasm is just fantastic. There are 3 covers, 2 of which are variant covers, obviously, but this is just a normal A cover, and it is fantastic by Clay Mann. I love Phantasm, by the way. The Mask of the Phantasm is one of the best comic book movies ever made, regardless of the fact that it's animated. So the fact that we have the Phantasm here showing up on the cover of Bad Cat, how special is that? So kudos to Mark for going outside of the box when it comes to being a normal hot pick, picking something that's already in the middle of a a maxi series that's happening, trying to get everyone to realize that this is some fantastic writing and artwork that's going on with issue number 6. Good for you, brother. But yeah, this cover, I would have picked it up alone, regardless if it was Mark's hot pick or not. But yeah, that's just because I love the Phantasm. And look, we even got like a little bit of blood. So yeah, Bad Cat, Black Label, Mark's hot pick. My hot pick was for a multitude of reasons. Spec issue number 1, read, but the number one thing that I really wanted to talk about was the fact that we just had a major character introduced in the Loki MCU television show, and that is, of course, King the Conqueror, which was portrayed brilliantly by Jonathan Majors. Now, a lot of people don't know that much about King the Conqueror, other than he's a time traveler. But the fact is, not only is he a time traveler, he jumps across different multiverses, and there's a multitude of different Kangs at different levels of being sinister. So the fact that Marvel released King the Conqueror issue number 1 today, my hot pick for the reason for it being my hot pick was for everyone to educate themselves a little bit further on what the King the Conqueror really is. He's more than just an Avengers villain. He's actually tied into the Fantastic Four as being distantly related to Mr. Fantastic Reed Richards. He does appear in a bunch of different Fantastic Four books, alongside, of course, being mostly known as an Avengers villain. But this is everyone's opportunity to educate themselves on King the Conqueror, the man that's been a pharaoh, time traveler. He's killed multiple versions of his own self just for getting his own universe in line, causing the other universes to spin out of control with that King of the Conqueror being wiped out. Anyways, there are a bunch of different variants. I tried to spotlight as many as I could into Cool Guys Swap Picks this past Sunday, but I went with just a normal cover A just because I thought it was really good. We had King the Conqueror here with a different King the Conqueror, and inside an hourglass, as well as some bone shards of a wasted timeline up here. So yeah, my hot pick, King the Conqueror. Educate yourself. That's what I'm going to be doing here, outside of the Fantastic Four stuff that I read as a teenager when it came to King the Conqueror. So yes, let me recap the books that I picked up. But first, let me spotlight some stuff that's going on here in the chat. Let's see. 501 is my lucky number. And next thing, funny how you pop up when the DC talk starts. He's been here all along, Nick. I'll be honest, but yes, that's usually when he starts. He'll talk about stuff when the independent books is going on, then the DC books. When it's Marvel, he's kind of quiet. But yes, he is at work. He's grooming a dog. Love how it's partial gloss and partial matte. Yes. If you notice, it's hard because of the daylight that's here, but the Phantasm's mask is actually seems to be almost lifted off the cover when you look at it, even though it's flat to touch. But yes, they outdid themselves with this particular cover for Batcat issue 6. And Mark saying his favorite king was the Iron Lad, the Young Avenger. Yes, and it was quite the shock when it was revealed who that was. So again, two cool guys, two hot picks. Our picks were King the Conqueror and Batcat issue 6. The other books that I picked up, issue 2 of 4, Superman and the Authority, Batman Secret Files issue 1, Clown Hunter, cool Miko Suyin cover. I went with the variant cover for issue number 1 of The Trial of Magneto by Artgerm. My cover pick of the week. Just beautiful. Beautiful. He just does beautiful stuff. And speaking of beautiful stuff, it's the Master, Alex Ross, with Iron Man 11. A surprisingly very good read right now. It's issue 3 of The Sinister War. From Boom Studios, it's issue 1 of Eat the Rich. I'll be honest, I don't know anything about this book, but I'm quietly, secretly, or quietly excited to read it. This book was recommended to me by my LCS owner. It's Michael Moorcock's Elric the Dreaming City. This is the variant cover by Hellboy creator Mike Mignola. Are you talking about Eat the Rich, Nick? From Aftershock, issue number 2, a book that I'm very, very excited to read, Beyond the Breach. Yep. Let me know what you think of it, my man. And lastly, a book that I picked up for spec value, fingers crossed that it does something. It's the 6th printing, the corrected version of The Department of Truth. So that's it, everyone. I'm very excited about shouldn't say the Iron Man book. It's still, I just don't know. But so I am excited about most of the books that I have here. The independent stuff, I'm probably going to start to read through first. I'll finish up the Sinister Six or the Sinister War that I've been reading. And yeah, I'll get through the rest of it. And then Sunday night, I will spoil the hell out of it on Mark's channel at week's end. And yeah, where do I go from here? Do I apologize? I'm sorry, but that's all I got. Anyways, Comic Army, friends and family that have joined me, thank you very much for your time. I greatly appreciate it. This Saturday, you can catch me on Rob's Fat Stack of Comics, where him and I do Slab Hub. And this week, I'll be showing off some of the slabs that I have in my personal collection. So I'm probably going to have to bring out some of the big boys that I got. Because as we all know, Rob has some fantastic, fantastic books. Anyways, after that, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, Mark and I will return with 2 cool guys, 2 hot picks, and you catch me again on his flagship show at week's end Sunday night, where we'll be talking about everything pop culture, because fandom happens there. See what I did there, Mark? Anyways, on behalf of myself and everyone that's watching, if you're catching us on the replay, I appreciate your time. But until I see you again, take care, everyone. Be safe. Damn straight.